Virgo, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Virgo Tarot love reading. Today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what's the mutual point of interest between Virgo and their romantic person of interest. June 2025. Okay, what's going on with you, Virgo? Let's take a look here. What's going on with Virgo as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them? Okay, not going to let me finish my sentence. No big deal. Let's see here. What's going on with your person, Virgo? What's going on with Virgo's romantic person of interest as it relates to Virgo and the connection between them? Holy wow, what's going on here? Thank you. Man, it's going to buckle up. Buckle up. On the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of the reading is the Sun, which goes against everything I'm seeing out here. The Sun is the Leo Major Arcana card. This is the happiest card in the deck. This is happiness, bliss, harmony, joy. Like, really hard to get a better card than the Sun when that's what it's talking about. The other thing the Sun can represent is illumination. So, for example, the card that comes right before the Sun is the Moon. And when the moon's out, it's dark outside. Things can be hidden in the dark. Secrets can be kept. The next step is the sun comes up and now it's not dark anymore, and all that stuff that was hiding in the dark that I couldn't see before gets the light shined on it. It's illuminated, exposed. I can see it. I'm not 100% sure what to make of this. Just if I'm taking it strictly at face value of this card, this is the happiest card in the deck. It could mean that you have a lot of happiness tied to this connection, tied to this other person here. This King of Pentacles behind the Sun is Virgo or Taurus energy. This would be like husband type energy here. It doesn't necessarily mean legally married husband, but this would be like a person you're viewing in that light, like a provider, a person that's building their life around you, building a life together with you, like that kind of an energy here. And then I have 8 of Pentacles behind it. Virgo energy of putting in the work, the time, effort, and energy on something to get what I want, or at the least being willing to put in the work on something like that. Yeah, but then this is what I'm saying. Like, on the surface, that seems fine. But then we get Queen of Swords behind it. This is Libra energy. This is about speaking the truth on something and then cutting off the thing or the person that isn't in your best interest anymore. I call her she who knows the truth. She knows what's going on around her. She's usually about having a difficult conversation with somebody where truth has to be spoken and it might be cutting, but then there's usually a severing that takes place after that. So that's coming after this idea of work and happiness tied to like this husband type of an energy. It doesn't have to be legally married. It could just be boyfriend, committed person you're trying to build a life with. That's the gist of what it looks like this is going to talk to me about. We might have to come back to that. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way, Virgo, here in June 2025. Doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes they do this and you feel the consequences of it. Sometimes they say or do something and you start to act or feel this way. Sometimes it's just something external happening. But we got the Page of Wands as the shared energy affecting you both here in June. This is news and messages and communications about passion and desire. So it can be passionate messages. It can be like expressing interest, like expressing desire, talking about what I want. This is the minor arcana version of the Fool. And the Fool will just take this blind leap of faith. They'll leap off the cliff and worry about it on the way down. And this is a much more toned down version of that energy. This is someone who has the willingness to take the very first steps down this brand new path towards something they have passion and desire for. Not necessarily someone who's going to just leap off the cliff. Pages are communicators. So this is usually the beginning stages of something where I'm thinking about it and talking about it, not necessarily acting on it yet. That's where the Knights come in, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but we got that Knight of Wands out here central to your person's energy. So there's actions that ultimately happen. I'm going to clarify this and see what else I can find out. Tell me about this Page of Wands, please. Why is that the shared energy affecting Virgo and their person? Underline this Page of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, Virgo energy. This is single energy. This is like personal independence, physically single. It's a step back from the Ten of Pentacles, which is about combining lives together, building a life together. This is, I can take care of myself. I got all of that handled. I don't need someone to physically or financially take care of me. This could mean that you're single and not physically together right now, and maybe there's happiness tied to the idea of working on it with this person. But that Queen of Swords is bugging me, and right under it is the Two of Swords, some decision that needs made and hasn't been made yet. We're at early stages of something. This can represent sometimes a person who's not single, but presents themselves in the physical world as if they're single. I got hints out here that that could be something that's going on. Behind this single energy is the Hierophant. This is Taurus Major Arcana. This is commitment to something bigger than yourself. Like in a love relationship reading, this would be commitment to the relationship, like taking it to the next level, living together, getting engaged, getting married, like going down that kind of a path of being fully committed, which makes very little sense if we got single energy in the front. Kind of hard to be single and independent and fully committed at the same time. Got the Chariot behind that, Cancer's Major Arcana. This is the fastest energy in the deck. It's about the underlying will to overcome obstacles and problems and stuff that's in the way, and getting past all that through just willpower alone, and then moving forward very fast in success and victory. There's like a misalignment in the card though. The driver has no reins. There's a black sphinx and a white sphinx, like the shadow side and the light side, and he has to use will alone to control this, which means if both of those parts of himself aren't pulling in the same direction, this thing ain't going anywhere. Or worse yet, it will tear itself in half trying to go two different directions at the same time. So we have this underlying will to overcome something, although sometimes this is a get the hell out of Dodge kind of an energy too. When I clarify this Page of Wands, this passionate messages or willingness to take the first step on something, maybe we got willingness to take the first step toward commitment, and right now we're single. I'm not sure yet. This is a little... I got Hanged Man, King of Cups, Page of Wands again, and the Star. The Hanged Man, this is progress being halted. No forward movement happening. Things being stuck. The Hanged Man hangs upside down because he's trying to look at things from a different perspective than he normally would. A different point of view. He's trying to figure out what has me stuck. What do I change to get unstuck so I can move forward from here? The problem with that energy sometimes is like the focus is purely on things, like external things, not inside of himself. So sometimes this will be a person who's convinced the problem is outside of me, or convinced the solution to this problem is outside of me. Especially if I have all this happiness tied to another person. Sometimes we get in a spot where if they don't want to work on it with me, then I don't know what to do with myself because I'm kind of stuck in that. I'm just looking at the other person. Sometimes this is someone playing the blame game. Sometimes this is someone who's just like, this isn't moving and I'm trying to figure it out. King of Cups is next. This is Scorpio energy. This, don't think I told you this would be Pisces energy, but this King of Cups is Scorpio. This is someone who has a lot of love and emotions. Probably the way you're feeling about this other person, having all this love and emotions for them, but they likewise have emotions for you too. The King of Cups just doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. So this can be a person who they don't publicly broadcast how they feel about things, good or bad. So they might be in love with you and you don't really know. And then again, they might have some emotional turmoil going on and be stuck in something, and they're not sharing that with you either. Like, this is really feeling like I don't know how the other person feels all the way. I know how I have happiness tied to them, but I don't really know what their feelings are. And having willingness to go the first step is one thing, but like, doesn't look like we're getting anywhere. I got that Page of Wands again. So anytime I'm clarifying a card, I get the same damn card. That's the universe going, dude, I'm telling you, early stages of something. There's either talking about what I want or expressing interest here, or there's some passionate messages happening. I'm not sure which. Like, this looks a little misleading to me, especially with what I'm seeing over here and in some of your energy. Like, not uncommon at the early stage of these readings, and I'm in the shared energy. I don't fully understand exactly what it's trying to tell me yet, but it becomes clear as I go through your energy, and I'll come back to it again when I go through their energy. But this final clarifier for this Page of Wands is the Star, Aquarius Major Arcana energy. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing, sometimes a card of wish fulfillment. Sometimes I'll get this card when someone believes, oh, this person is the one for me. This does not mean that the person is the one for you, but I will get this especially in the shared energy when one person is feeling that way. Potentially both people feeling that way, but I'm not understanding the rest of what I'm seeing over here. I'm trying so hard not to get ahead of myself, but this is hope and healing. Could be the thing that's keeping you like having the willingness to go one more step here, even though things aren't really progressing. This is also the card that comes after the Tower in the sequence of the major arcana. So you don't make it here without going through a Tower moment of some kind where some important thing in your life collapses, whether that's a relationship or a belief system or both. This would be like the hope to get you through it. I'm hoping that this is not telling me that someone's acting single when they're actually in a commitment and they're expressing interest and desire and talking stuff they shouldn't be talking somewhere else, and maybe maybe not letting any of this out. Everything's stuck, and there's still this hope that it gets unstuck. It's what it's looking like so far. Like I said, we'll come back to that as I go through your energy, Virgo. In your energy, the first card is the most important, 4 of Pentacles, central for you, 5 of Pentacles, and your final card is the 10 of Wands. This is looking rough. 4 of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. 4s are about stability. So this could be like financial stability, physical world stability. It's usually an energy of someone who's holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. Now, that could mean that you don't want to lose this connection, that you have the hope that this works itself out because you have all this happiness tied to this person and you want to work on it. It could mean that. The other thing that it could mean is, even though I'm in your energy, a lot of times this first card and the whole first column of clarifiers ends up being some of this person's baggage showing up over here because whatever they're doing is affecting you so strongly. So this could be them holding on to something and not wanting to let go of it, being like a greedy, stingy kind of an energy. So I'm going to clarify that and see if we can get some more insight. What's going on with 4 of Pentacles? Why is that the first card here in Virgo's energy in June 2025? You? Okay, we got some. Underlying this 4 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. This is a period of time for one of 2 reasons. First, it can be a period of time where you pause to reflect and take stock of this relationship, take stock of this whole situation. It would be about examining it and trying to decide, is this ever going to grow into the 10 of Pentacles that I really want? Maximum stability, abundance, prosperity, combining lives together, building a life together. Is this ever going to turn into that? Is this worth me continuing to invest my time, effort, and energy into it? Is it worth putting all this work and effort into it? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out the way I want, and maybe I should cut my losses and move on? So this can be the time when you contemplate that kind of stuff. It can also be a period of time where seeds have been planted on something already and it's not fully developed yet. And I'm like waiting on it to mature and ripen so I can get something out of it. So it could be a period of time where maybe I've been holding on to this idea of happiness and trying to communicate and hopefully moving forward toward the thing that you're hoping for with this person. And still it's not there yet would be what this would represent in that case. So it's a waiting period for one of those two reasons. Behind it, Two of Cups. This is Cancer energy. This is a love connection between two people. It's also a two, and in tarot, twos are choices. So this is a choice about the connection. Like I said, this is it going to pan out the way I want or cut my losses and move on? So this could be that kind of a choice about this connection. It can represent a choice between more than one cup of love. Excuse me. Queen of Cups is behind that. This is Cancer energy. This is you having a lot of love and emotions that you want to give to this person. I got King and Queen of Cups here. Not both on the table at the same time. There's stuff between them. There's distance or separation or something between them. This card would indicate that you've probably been hurt. She's got a lid on her cup, which is done to protect her emotions from getting contaminated. She doesn't want anything messing her up emotionally. So it's usually an indicator of I've been hurt. And what the Queen of Cups really wants to do is take the lid off and pour her love into someone. She's just guarded and hesitant here. There's been this waiting period. This is feeling like hope, but like at the same time, don't want the rug yanked out from underneath me. Then I got Page of Cups behind it. News, messages, communications about love and emotions, expressing feelings, flirty behavior, early stages of like talking about lovey-dovey stuff and emotion type stuff, but it's not the king. Like the queen here is with the little page. This is the least developed of the court cards, the least mature, not fully emotionally mature and developed yet. Almost like little boy version. Man, it's really choking me up here. What's going on? When I clarify Four of Cups, normally I get 3 clarifiers. I got 5 here. I got Page of Swords, 6 of Swords, 3 of Pentacles, the Devil, 4 of Wands. Page of Swords. This is an energy of someone who's trying to learn something or trying to figure something out. He's looking over his shoulder into the past. This is a sword energy, a mind, a thinking kind of an energy. This could be like researching, investigating, snooping around, asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on. Is this like something I should continue to do or not? This could indicate you're being nosy and like looking for information. A lot of times that's what this will represent, like either purposefully looking for information or accidentally uncovering information. Either way, it's related to like holding on to something I don't want to let go of. And they're looking at the past. So this might be doing some thinking about how can I justify holding on to this even though it's not moving and like let this hope get me through. But then I have 6 of Swords, which is Aquarius energy of moving forward into calmer waters. It's leaving these rough, choppy waters of the past behind and moving away from something painful. At its core, that's really what it's about. The 6 of Swords implies the 5 of Swords has already happened. That's a mentally and psychologically painful situation or event, a betrayal, a big fight. It's something painful. And this is about that's already happened and you can't change that at this point. This is about moving forward away from the pain, but it's also about the implied choice of do I carry the burden that the painful thing caused me into my future with me so it continues to weigh me down? Or do I carry forward the lesson the painful thing taught me so it doesn't happen to me again? I'm getting ahead of myself only because I feel like I have to. The final card in your energy is the 10 of Wands, which is the heavy burden. So here the choice is, do I carry forward the burden so it keeps weighing me down? Or do I carry forward the lesson? Well, I've got the burden in your final position. I'm hoping that you're not carrying that forward. This is looking to me like I'm looking for reasons to still be able to hold on and not have to let go and move forward. I got 3 of Pentacles next, which is Capricorn energy of teamwork, collaboration, working together as equals to build something of value. This would be like laying the foundations for the 10 of Pentacles, like the foundations for building a life together. Could be a case of that's what you're holding on to and what you don't necessarily want to move away from. I do see the happiest card in the deck tied directly to the person that would be building the 10 of Pentacles with you. It's just a matter of, is it actually working together as equals to build it together or not? Because I've got the Devil with it next. Capricorn's major arcana card. This is heavy toxic energy. This can be obsession. This can be an addiction to something, a feeling of being trapped by something, like I can't escape from it, like this thing has control of me and I don't have any control over it. These are the same 2 people from the Lovers card. So it's about the interconnectedness between people, but in kind of a negative sense, because these people are chained together. They've got their head in loops of chain and they're chained around their neck and they can't leave. And they've got horns and tails because they're in this distorted toxic energy for long enough that it starts to distort them. It starts to change who they are. So this doesn't feel nearly as equal give and take as you probably hope it becomes. I'm not digging the Hanged Man in this spot. I'm really not, because it's like full stop before I can even get anywhere. 4 of Wands, this is Aries energy. 4s are stability. So this would be stability of the home, stability of the family, stability of the connection between the 2 of you. The 4 Wands represent 1111, which is about manifesting. In the story of manifesting, this is the stage where the thing I want has appeared in physical reality. It's stable in physical reality and I can celebrate its arrival. The problem is it's got the Devil attached to it. And the Devil is a real, like, illusionary kind of an energy. A lot of times this will trick a person into thinking it is the thing that I want. It looks just like the thing that I want. It feels just like the thing that I want. This feels like stable home life, stable family life, stable connection, just like I want, where we're building this together as equals. And it convinces me to attach all of my happiness to something outside of myself. And that's part of the trick of the Devil. That's part of how it traps you. This is not actually the thing you want. It's some distorted version of that. And that creates like a spot where I feel like I can't let go of this. Central for your energy, 5 of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. 5s are conflict. This is like abandonment. This is being cast aside, being discarded, left out in the cold, walked away from. This is a breakup energy. Sometimes this can stem into like feeling like I'm not good enough for some reason. Tell me about this 5 of Pentacles. What's going on with that? Why is that central for Virgo's energy in June 2025, please? Underlying this 5 of Pentacles, abandonment, feeling not good enough, breakup energy, I get 8 of Pentacles. I saw that 3 cards deep in the overall energy. Right behind the King of Pentacles and all this happiness that you've got tied to that person is this idea of putting in the work and time, effort, and energy on this, working on it. And there it is again. I've got abandonment, breakup, work on it. Maybe even feeling like I'm not good enough. Hold on to it, work on it, figure out how to hold on to it. 9 of Pentacles. There's that single energy again. It's a step back from the 10 of Pentacles. So I have a card here about breaking up, and then I've got single energy showing up again with putting in work in front of it, like I don't want to be single. Knight of Cups. There's actions toward love and emotions. We saw the Page of Cups at some point. That's talking about it. This is doing something about it. I already saw that with Page of Wands out here in the shared energy, talking about it, doing something about it. It's driving me nuts not going straight over here because this person is just we have some forward movement in love and emotions, trying to advance, like romantic offers, gestures, trying to move forward. Now that could be you wanting to work on it, not be single anymore, and move forward again. That could just as easily be, while you're wanting to work on it, they're presenting themselves as if they're single and moving forward already. When I clarify this Five of Pentacles, I get Eight of Swords, the Hermit, the Emperor. Eight of Swords is Gemini energy. This is thinking about something over and over again on this repeating loop in your mind and not being able to stop thinking. Like, this is like, my mind is in control of me. This is a very, like, the person's blindfolded, so they've got holes in what they actually know. They don't have all the information available here, and they don't know what's the safe move to make here. So they're feeling stuck and trapped and blocked, even though they're not actually stuck and trapped. They could just walk forward. They just don't know this. This is one of those self-imposed mental prisons where, like, the way you're thinking about something is what's keeping you stuck. This is about being in the loop. And I mentioned that with the Devil here. They have chains around their neck, but it's not like they're clamped on there. They're just a loop. And they could pull their head out of the loop, just no different than I did right there, and they could just walk away. But they don't know that because their head is in the loop. They can't see it. Like, they're stuck in their mind thinking it's one way when it's a different way. And that's what I'm feeling here with the Devil and this Four of Wands. It's convinced you that this is what you want. And it's gotten you to tie your happiness to something external to you. That's probably why the Hanged Man is here blocking everything, because the real solution isn't to tie your happiness to the external person. It's to realize your happiness comes from inside of you, not outside of you. But this is about the way you're thinking about it keeping you stuck. Right beside it is that trying to figure something out, trying to learn something, looking at the past, like looping it over and over again, trying to figure out, how do I hold on after this abandonment? And even this idea of not feeling good enough. I got the Hermit next. This is your major arcana card, Virgo. This is withdrawal, isolation. This is doing soul searching, deep inner reflection, deep contemplation. It's trying to figure out what to do moving forward. Kind of like that Page of Swords, just way more powerful. Kind of like the Hanged Man. At their core, they're both about trying to figure out what to do moving forward. The difference is in the focus. Hanged Man is focused externally, and the Hermit is focused internally. This is about looking inside myself and what adjustments do I make to me so I can move forward the way I want. And this Hanged Man is more about looking outside of me at what out here is all messed up that I need to make adjustments to. And I think, again, like, that's part of the fallacy, because very rarely do we have this problem show up in our external world that we didn't first create in our internal world. And that's just an outward manifestation of it. And I feel like that's what's happening here. It's like the way you are thinking about something is what has you stuck. And even seeing this, I'll get this a lot when someone gets ghosted, or when someone leaves them and abandons them and they don't have any closure. They don't know what's going on. It's like communication just stopped or something. Yeah, it's sitting right beside Six of Swords, like leaving something behind and moving on. And when the focus is directed inside and you're stuck in the loop and you don't have all the info and you're just grinding in circles in that self-imposed mental prison, and you have that feeling like I'm not good enough type of an energy there, that could be saying this person made you feel like you're not good enough. And I got the Emperor next, which is a control energy. There's two control energies, the Emperor and the Devil, and both of them are over here in your energy. This is taking control, taking charge of a situation. It's a master manifester in the sense of it's someone who puts together a plan to get what they want, and then they execute the plan to get what they want. This is the person who's calling the shots. And it's very rarely the person I'm reading for. It's usually the other person. And I have to get ahead of myself now because their final card is the Emperor from the first deck. So no doubt this is talking about them. They're in control of whether you communicate or not. Well, I almost said they're the reason that you're stuck in your head, stuck in this loop. That's not actually true. They didn't force you to do that. And that's part of the devil, is like, it has the power over you that you voluntarily give to it by not facing it. And there's some element here of you have, even though they've probably made you feel like you're not good enough, it's the way that you are thinking about it that's allowing that to work. It's what's giving them the real power. You're basically giving them the control because you have attached your happiness to them, which is why you're willing to work on it, even though you already know the truth of the matter. There's just a piece of that truth that you don't want to look at. You don't want that to be true. You don't want to see it. And this element of denial of what's really there is preventing you from making a decision that you need to make. And it's a decision that will change everything. Final card for you, Virgo, is the 10 of Wands. There's that heavy burden that you've been carrying that's weighing you down and holding you back. This is a 10, and in tarot, 10s are completions. This is supposed to be the completion of you carrying this burden. It's supposed to be the spot where you lay it down and move on without it. It's freaking me out a little bit because your first card, the most important card, is hold on tightly and don't let go. And then try to figure that out. And then this, almost like having convinced myself that this is the thing that I want, and therefore I cannot let go of it. That's probably the burden that you're dealing with. It's the disconnect between what you think you have versus what you actually have with them. Tell me about the 10 of Wands, please. Why is that final card here for Virgo? Okay. You cannot make this up. Underlying this burden energy, 7 of Pentacles again. There's that period of time again where you've been waiting on this to pan out and turn into what you want it to be, and it's not there. The thing you're waiting on it to become is the 10 of Cups. Now I know for sure what's going on. The 10 of Cups is Pisces energy. This is like emotionally combined together energy. This is most people's goal in love and relationships. It's not really the goal, though. What's supposed to really be the goal is the 9 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups is where I'm fully happy and content in and of myself. I love myself. I understand my happiness is just a chemical that I make in my body, and I make it. So my happiness comes from inside of me, not something external to me, which is what we've got here, like the attaching happiness to this external person. And then happiness being entirely dependent on how much work they're willing to put in. That's not how it's supposed to work. And this is you like waiting for it to pan out to become this 10 of Cups, happily ever after, happy fairy tale romance, happy fairy tale ending. And that's the negative aspect of the 10 of Cups that no one talks about. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. The fairy tale piece of it is the distortion to it. It's like how much money is in your bank account right now versus how much do you wish was in your bank account? Probably very dramatically different numbers, right? And imagine what your financial life would be like if you spent money as if you really had the amount you wish you had. Like, you don't have that much. I don't have that much. And if I spent like I did, it would be a disaster financially. And this is the emotional equivalent of that most of the time. Very rarely is this ever talking about true love and happily ever after. Like, seriously, be real for a second. Do you think anyone who actually has true love and happily ever after right now is watching tarot love readings to figure out what the fuck's going on in their relationship? No, because they already know. So this is usually that idealized point of view. It's like looking at the relationship for how I wish it was instead of how it actually is, and then operating as if it really was the way I wish it was. And that's how you create an emotional minefield, emotional disaster, especially when you've tied all of your happiness to an external person. That's why the burden is here. That's why the devil is here. It's not, this isn't going to pan out. See, no sooner than I said, really, the Nine of Cups is supposed to be the goal. There it is in the background. This is when all of your own cups are full, and you're not waiting on this external person to show up and make you whole, to show up and fill your cups for you. You've already done it yourself. When you're not in the Nine of Cups, you're projecting a lack into the universe. Like, you don't have self-love until you're here. So you're projecting a lack of someone to love you. And that's why you get mirrored back to you someone who doesn't love you, because they don't love themselves either. When you're here, you're not projecting that need. You're not projecting the scarcity of love, the absence of love. You're not projecting that, so it doesn't get mirrored back to you. And when you're here, that's how you attract to you a person who's also here, and they don't need you any more than you need them to be happy. But because you're together and you pour yourselves into each other with full cups, it overflows. And that's the only way to get to the 10th cup. Waiting on it is useless. The waiting isn't how you get there. It doesn't just magically happen. You have to get to the Nine of Cups, and you have to be fully happy and content with yourself, not as a disguise, not as a way to try to trick the universe into thinking, okay, if they think I'm happy, then they'll give me the thing I want. It's not ever going to work that way. You have to legit get here. This heavy burden, I get 5 clarifiers again. I get the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, 7 of Swords, Judgment. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the whole deck. This is very slow, monotonous, make you want to pull your hair out. It's so slow kind of an energy. Like, this usually indicates you wanted something like last week and you still don't have it. It's still this snail's pace. It probably looks like nothing's moving because it's probably not moving. That's why it's weighed down. It's a burden here. This can also represent a person who knows what they're supposed to do, but doesn't do it for some reason. He's got the Ace of Pentacles, the seed of abundance, but the fields are empty. He hasn't planted the seed that he knows he's supposed to plant. Can also represent someone who knows what they're not supposed to do, but they do it anyway. He's not supposed to just sit here, but that's what he's doing. There's this idea of like trying to figure it out and grinding on it, trying to figure out, why isn't it here yet? Why don't I have it? I've got the Ace of Pentacles next. This is a new physical opportunity presenting itself. It's that seed of abundance I just referenced here. This is something that it's a physical thing that you can touch, but it's an opportunity, which means you have to grab it and do something with it, or it's just empty potential. I've got this idea of leaving it behind and moving forward. Potentially that is ghosting you, and you not knowing this is coming, not knowing what's going on after the fact, but it looks like there's this forward movement toward a new physical opportunity. Three of Wands, Aries energy of waiting. This is part of that story of manifesting. It starts with the Two of Wands, where I have this choice about what is it I want my life to be like? What do I want to create in my life? And here the decision's been made. The thing I want, I've decided. I've already chosen the path. I've started down the path. I'm taking actions to get this thing that I want. And I fully expect what I want is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. And I'm still waiting on it. It's some opportunity here that you're still waiting on. And you've been waiting for a long time. And it's still not showing any signs of progress. That's part of the burden. The thing you're waiting on is the person who's in control and running the show. So don't think for a minute that this is going to change. It's running exactly the way the person in control wants it to operate. there's this idea of equal give and take, equal, let's like work together as equals to build this thing. But then there's the emperor in control, who isn't necessarily communicating with you, probably making you feel like you're not good enough, getting you stuck in your head to where you can't see clearly, and your mind is controlling you and not the other way around. It's not the tool that it's supposed to be. It's got you, and there's you waiting on them. And during this waiting, we get Seven of Swords, Aquarius energy of lying, cheating, stealing, deception, sneaking around, trying to get away with stuff I shouldn't be trying to get away with. That's in the same row. Like, I read these in columns, but then I connect it together in rows. And so far, been able to do that until we get here. Now I have the devil and this lying, deceptive energy. And in between those two things, a gap, a hole in the information. And the only thing near that hole is your person controlling everything. This is like where you don't get to see, like, look how big his throne is. It's none of your damn business what's behind him. That's why it's so big. He's the boss. You don't get to question him. And there's this hole in the information here. Then we have Judgment. This is the most powerful decision card in the deck, passing a final verdict in judgment on something. In a love reading, this is either A, we're calling it dead and over and there's no coming back from it, or B, this is resurrecting it and bringing it back to life. I see the happiness tied to the person. I see this willingness to put the work in on it. I saw that at some other point in your energy here too, in the underlying, what was under the bottom of the deck. I don't think for a minute that this is your decision on whether it's dead and over or whether it gets resurrected. That's up to them. That, like, this whole bottom piece, there's like two cards on either side and two holes in the middle. There's the devil, which is what you actually have, like the liar, the deceiver, the cheat, and what you think you have, which is stability and choice, like decision ability in this matter. And you don't have stability with this person. You have toxicity with them. You have cheating, lying, deception. You don't have power of choice, which is why you have a burden here. Your choice so far has been limited to wait and see if it happens or not. And that's strictly because you gave your power away when you attached your happiness to an external person. Now, don't take that the wrong way. That is not me saying you can't ever be happy with another human being. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it is always a mistake to tie all of your happiness to someone else, because they can leave and now your happiness is gone with them. And that's not how it's supposed to work. Happiness is supposed to be a part of you, from inside of you. And sure, another person can create scenarios that make happiness easier to get to, or more frequently you get there, but it can never be solely placed entirely on another person. Okay, let's take a look at your person's energy. In their energy, the first card is the most important. It has been driving me nuts wanting to come here. Seven of Swords, lying, cheating, deception. Central to their energy, the Knight of Wands. This is called the player of the tarot deck a lot of times. And then that final card for them is the Emperor. This is the person who's in control, and they're making the rules and dictating how this is going to work. First card, we already saw this over here in the same row with the devil, in the same column with this burden that's weighing you down and holding you back, waiting on someone who's doing things behind your back. Let's take a look at that and see what's going on here. You cannot make this shit up. Oh my God. Wow, wow. Underlying Seven of Swords, the Tower. This is the foundation rocking event. This is the collapse of some important structure in your life. Maybe that's the collapse of the relationship itself. Maybe that's the collapse of your belief system about it. Your belief system about what happiness even is. This is a game changer. Nothing's the same after this point. It's underlying this lying, cheating, deceptive energy. It's also tied to the Knight of Cups, actions toward love and emotions, moving forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, trying to advance in that love sense. Nine of Pentacles. See how clear it's becoming now? This is them acting single even when they're not single. They're presenting themselves in the physical world as single when they weren't. Yeah, what just stuck to my elbow is the stability, and then it falls on the floor, leaving only the devil here. When I clarify Seven of Swords, the Moon, Six of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Eight of Cups. The Moon is fear, worry, and anxiety, sometimes from uncertainty. If I'm sneaking around behind your back and cheating on you, I would probably have a little fear, worry, and anxiety about that. The other thing the Moon can mean is I referenced it right at the very beginning because this is the happiest card in the deck, but everything I saw out here did not tell me happiness is what I'm looking at. This is the card that comes after the Moon, where something's hidden in the dark. Some secret is being kept, and it's them sneaky. Six of Cups, this is Scorpio energy of the past. It's thinking about the past, reminiscing about the past, the good old days, the way things used to be. It can represent a deep emotional connection that they have maybe with you. Could represent history with you, hence me needing to keep all of this secret. But this can also represent something from their past happening again, or coming back up again, or even a person from their past showing back up. That could be something that they were hiding and being sneaky about. That doesn't even have to be like romantic partner from their past. It could just be someone that's not new, someone they have some kind of history with, someone that they know already, not a stranger. I got Queen of Pentacles next. This is a wife type of an energy here. So this could be a person that they were married to or engaged to or lived with or were very, very committed to at some point. This could be you. And there's history with you, and they're keeping you hidden in the dark. Could be either of those two things. This is feeling like you. It's directly across the row here is that waiting energy. And what you're waiting on is them, because they're in control of everything. And then there's this teamwork, collaboration, working together is equals energy, even though that's not what it actually is. I'm assuming that's you, but again, that could be ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-person they lived with or were committed to in some way. I do have hope here, where there's hope on their side too that's affecting them. There's that communications about passion, taking the first steps in that direction, probably keeping their emotions nice and hidden from you. Probably helpless victim in all of this too. It's not my fault that I cheated on you. It's not my fault I lied and snuck around. What did you expect me to do? I had to hide it. Like it's some stupid bullshit like that. And then I got Eight of Cups with it. Pisces energy of emotionally detaching, physically detaching and walking away. The person here is leaving 8 cups of love behind because they think there's something better out there for them and they got to go find out. So this is usually, you got to go see if the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. Sometimes this is just them like just detaching and trying to leave it behind. But then I got Knight of Wands central to their energy. Again, second fastest knight in the deck, rushing forward, taking rapid, passionate action. We started the reading off with the shared energy being talking about it, and here's the doing something about it. This is sometimes the player of the deck. It can be that person that comes rushing in and tells you everything you want to hear just to get what they want. And then they go do that same bit somewhere else, play 2 different people back and forth. Could be someone who's non-committal in that they say they want it, and at first it looks like they do because they're taking all the right actions, but then they change their mind and go a different way. So no, like best case scenario, this person can't make up their damn mind about what they actually want and stick to it. Worst case scenario, you're dealing with a freaking player. Tell me about the Knight of Wands. Why is that central for Virgo's person here in June 2025? You? Okay. This person is draining me. I don't know how you put up with them. Like, I'm just dipping into their energy for, I don't know what, maybe 45 minutes to an hour or so. And it's like, I'm ready to just shut down. 9 of Cups is underlying that. You cannot make this shit up. This is personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment. Now, I told you at the beginning that when we saw the 10 of Cups, this was behind it. This is the real goal. Every energy in tarot carries a shadow element to it. Like I said, for the 10 of Cups, the shadow element is that fairy tale component of it. It's what fools us. The shadow element of like the self-love and like, I don't need this external person to make me happy, is this can go too far and become self-centered, self-serving, overindulgent, self-indulgent. It's all about me, myself, and I, and my happiness is more important than your happiness. And I see you've stuck all your happiness to me, and that's fantastic and all, but I don't really care because that's not my happiness, that's yours. And there's this is like personal jollies sometimes, and we got a player here, we got someone sneaking around, lying and cheating, hiding stuff in the dark, might even have a history of doing that with you. This might even be a case where you might be married to this person. I've got happiness and husband type energy here, and now wife out here on the table. You don't have to be married to them, but it's possible. Oh man. When I clarify this Knight of Wands, I get the 2 of Pentacles, the Sun again from the other deck, and the 9 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles is a choice between 2 physical things. It's Capricorn energy. Oh my Lord, this person is getting me. This is a choice where I can't have both of them. I have to pick one or the other, this one or that one. Do I or don't I? Notice how they're on one foot. They're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not fully committed either way, still weighing their options, looking at the pros and cons, trying to pick which one do I want. A lot of times that can be a person who's juggling 2 people, especially when it's tied to the player and when it's tied to the moon. And even this little circular piece right here, I've got liar, cheater, deceiver, player, juggling 2 people, keeping it hidden in the dark. Like that's the core of who this person is. Would not surprise me a bit if they have a history of doing that. Next, I have the Sun, which is the overall energy. All this happiness here. Happiness being tied to choice, to juggling 2, to being able to choose between 2, maybe even to be able to run around back and forth between 2. Happiness tied to some element of their past. Whoever this is that they're sneaking around with, it is not a stranger. It's not a brand new person. It's someone they already know and have some kind of history with. Whether, yes, it could be romantic history. It could be ex-girlfriend, ex-wife. Could just be somebody they work with. I do have King of Pentacles and work in the background of that. I have to go back here. Like the important piece that seems to be need to say again is like this: she knows the truth, she sees it, she speaks the truth, she has the difficult conversation, and when the person tells her some story that doesn't match the truth she knows, she cuts their head off. She cuts people out of her life that aren't in her best interest. And this is about a choice that you have to make that you haven't made yet. The blindfold can represent, I don't have enough information to make the decision yet, which is why I haven't. But that's not true, because we got Queen of Swords here. You know already. You've seen the truth already. We have the Sun as the first card. It's been illuminated already. The blindfold in this case can represent blinders that you're wearing. In other words, there's a part of this that you don't want to see. You don't want to look at it. You don't want that to be true. But not facing it is what's giving all your power away. It's what's putting them in control. It's what's keeping you stuck It's what's keeping you held down by this burden and keeping you holding on to something that just makes you feel abandoned and not good enough. This is you choosing not to face that, choosing not to make the choice that you need to make, because that choice will change everything. And it probably doesn't feel like it's your choice, because what you want, you don't get to that through this choice. This is the choice to cut this person away. And I did see that element of still thinking this is 10 of Cups, still thinking that this is stability, and it's not. And until you like face that piece of it, you're not going to be able to cut yourself free. That's what she can cut. You can cut yourself down from being stuck. At this point, the hope that you have here in the background, it's not real hope. This is hope that keeps you trapped. It's not hope that if I just hang on longer, eventually this pile of steaming dog shit will magically turn into like happily ever after in the Smurf village in my backyard. It's not that. It can't do that. This hope doesn't get you anywhere. It just keeps you stuck. It keeps you in the repeating cycle over and over and over. And you're going to keep repeating it until you learn the lesson. There is a dramatic shift here, a pivotal moment in the commitment that you have here. The final clarifier for their Knight of Wands is the 9 of Swords, Gemini energy. This is a step worse than the 8 of Swords that's over here on your side. This is fear, worry, and anxiety, stress. There's 2 cards of fear, worry, and anxiety. They have them both. This is thinking about something over and over again with all this fear and worry behind the way they're thinking about it, and doing that to the point that it stresses them out. This person is somehow stressed out about happy. That doesn't make sense. So they're stressed out about getting illuminated. They're stressed out about you being able to see what they're doing here, because they've probably gone through great lengths to keep this whole thing hidden from you. Yeah, that's the thing they're stressed out about. You or this other person that they used to be committed with being found out about that. The only card so far that has nothing to go with it in the row is this emotionally detaching, going to see if the grass is greener on the other side. Final card in your person's energy, Virgo, is the Emperor. We've already seen that over here. Aries Major Arcana. This is the person calling the shots. They're the one in control with all the power. Tell me about the Emperor. Why is that here, please? The Tower. Underlying this, them being in control, is the collapse of everything that's important. Foundation rocking event. Like them being in control, them having all the power, having your happiness attached to them is the reason everything collapses. It's not that you tied your happiness to them that caused the collapse of it. But it's such a devastating collapse because you had all your happiness tied onto them, and they were only interested in what serves them the best. That's all that mattered. The World. Ending of one cycle, beginning of a new cycle, where I start back over at the beginning at the Fool again on some brand new thing, blind leap of faith, not a care in the world. 9 of Pentacles. I am single, I'm abundant, I'm prosperous in my own right, I can take care of myself. I'm presenting myself as single because I am at this point. I wasn't before this, but I get what I want here. When I clarify the Emperor, come here. Knight of Cups, Justice, 4 of Swords. Knight of Cups, actions toward love and emotions, moving forward with romantic offers and gestures and advancing a cup of love in some way. They've been doing that. The moon is in that row. It's been hidden. They've been juggling two people. At this final stage, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm just moving forward. Justice. This is Libra's major arcana card. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The sword in the card is used to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance gets restored, and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. Like what's supposed to happen can happen. This card shows up when something is out of balance, and this points out the need to correct it. This card shows up when something unfair and unjust is going on, and this points out the need to correct it. What's unfair and unjust is that they're moving forward romantically the way that they are. There's something unbalanced with what makes them happy. There's something unfair because there's history here, there's happiness here, and there's unfairness here. Final card, Four of Swords, Libra energy. Fours are stability. This is stability of the mind, stabilizing the thinking, calming the mind down, like trying to chill out. I get this card a lot when somebody's in the Eight of Swords like I see you, or the Nine of Swords like I see them. This is instructions to calm the mind down. There's too much noise, too much chatter, there's too much thinking going on. This is like, shh, just chill out. And it's them trying to like calm down so they can figure out what to do moving forward. They have this, I still don't know if this is you or if this is someone from their past. Either way, the worry and fear and stress is tied to that person. Most of me thinks this is you. But there's fear and worry and stress tied to you in terms of like calming down, figuring out what to do. The only thing that has nothing to go with it in their energy is this detaching, emotionally, physically walking away energy. In yours, we got four cards that make up that piece that's left over. We got the Devil, which is what you have, and this stability is what you think you have, but it's a trick. That's what makes it so difficult to escape, is because I swear to God, this looks just like what I wanted, only it ain't. If it's what you wanted, you wouldn't be here watching this right now. On the other side of it, we got that Seven of Swords in Judgment, like lying, deception, final decision getting made. Not getting made by you, getting made by them. I wish I could have gotten you better news, but it's not really about whether this is a positive or a bad message or, you know, like bad news type of a message. It's more about, if this is your reality, what do you do with this moving forward from here?